Hello and welcome to day number 21 of the 30-day yoga challenge. Today I'm going to teach you how to do crow pose. We're going to do a little warm-up, specific warm-up for crow pose, and then I'm going to show you how you finally get your crow pose. We need a block for this practice. I have my Manduka travel block here, which is amazing to take with you wherever you go. This is perfect for it. You can take any other block, is fine. If you already have your crow pose, then you won't need a block. If you need some yoga props, I have a discount code for all Manduka yoga gear. You find it in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to comment on one of the videos of the challenge to take part in this month's raffle. Let's get into the practice. Take a comfortable seated position of your choice. Close your eyes or half close your eyes. Elongate the spine. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Take your time to arrive on your mat. Today I want to talk about expectations, because when it comes to arm balance, some of us feel a lot of pressure being able to do a certain pose or not, especially if we have been practicing yoga for a very long time. We feel like, why can't I do this pose? I just want to say, it takes time, and everybody has its own way of learning poses, and it's okay if you don't want to learn a pose, if you're not able to do a pose, even if you have been practicing for a very long time. Even if you're a yoga teacher, you can still teach the pose and not be able to do it. So if we release all these expectations of what we should be capable of and what we should do and what we should be, then we can just simply practice and enjoy the practice for the sake of practicing. And that's just what yoga is all about. And if you're on your mat, if you're here, you are enough and you do everything that needs to be done, and you are perfect as you are. Open up your eyes. I hope this little input is an inspiration to you, because I put so much pressure on myself learning certain poses, especially arm balances, and it only led to a point where I wasn't able to do any of these poses. So it actually led to the opposite of what I wanted so badly. So and once I found the joy of practicing, I also was able to do the poses. And so this is just some like learning from my own practice that I can give over to you. So for today, make your crosses in your 30-day yoga challenge on the left side: energy level, mood, and connection to your higher self. If you don't have it, you can make these notes in your notebook as well. That's fine. If you want the 30-day yoga challenge, the link is in the description. When you're ready, come onto your mat. Today I chose a thinner mat. It's not it's not a travel mat or so, it's just a thinner mat, but for arm balances I really like to use thinner mats. Also, if you have wrist pain, I recommend practicing on a thinner mat. The thicker mats are better for knee pain, and for wrist pain I recommend thinner mats. And also for arm balances, it's just easier to balance on thinner mats, and it's also more beneficial for the wrists. We start in tabletop position. Place your hands shoulder width apart, index finger is pointing forward, knees are hip width distance apart. Draw the belly in, reach the right arm in front of you and the left leg behind you. Draw the navel in, ribs in, lower the left foot and the right hand to the floor, tap and lift back up. Tap and lift, tap and lift, tap and lift. Last one, tap and lift. Return to neutral position. Lift the left arm up and the right leg up. Draw the navel to the spine and tap and lift, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap, lift. Last one, tap, lift, release. Come on to your forearms. For forearm plank, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and if possible, your hands are in the same direction or in a straight line away from your elbows. If not, you can also like turn them slightly in, and then come into forearm plank, which is a very beneficial exercise for a couple of purposes. And I'm just gonna talk, and we're just gonna casually stay in this pose. Push the floor away, push into your forearms, draw the navel to the spine, lengthen the neck, and just stay in this pose. This is so beneficial for your whole body. Yeah, what else can I say a bit about this pose? We're just gonna strengthen the arms a little bit, activate the arms, activate the core. Yeah, that's why we do it. And another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, come all the way down. For Sphinx pose, open the chest. That's kind of a counter pose for what we just did, just to release possible tension. Lower down to the floor. Bring your right hand to the side and roll over the right shoulder. This leg is bent, and just give your right shoulder a nice little stretch here. You can also do this at the wall if this feels better. And then go to the other side, stretch out the left arm, it is on shoulder height, and then roll over that left shoulder. Place the right foot across the left leg. Feel the stretch in the left shoulder. And slowly return to center. Now we need to lay down on the back. Now all the core work is coming up because of course we need a little bit of core, but basically I tell you, crow pose is not about core strength, it is more about mechanics and technique. All of you, and I mean all of you, have already the strength you need in order to do crow pose, because crow pose doesn't require a lot of strength, doesn't require a lot of core or arm strength, but it requires activation of these muscles. That's why we activate the core. So bring your legs in a 90-degree angle, draw the belly in and lower the feet to the floor. Keep that angle in your legs and lift it back up. Lower down and lift it back up. We need to activate these muscles so that they are already active when you go into the arm balance. And then when we do the arm balance, you will see it is more about doing the right things right instead of using a lot of strength. Because if you can do forearm plank, what we just did, then you can do crow pose as well. You have enough arm strength. And we're gonna do 3 more of these. Draw the navel to the spine. And last one. And release. Now we're gonna do crow pose on the back. Bring the knees and the elbows together, lift the chest up and squeeze the elbows and the knees together as much as you can. And release. And I promise this is much harder than doing the real crow pose. Gonna do it 5 times in total. Press the knees and the elbows together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Now you should really feel your core muscles engage. So your body is learning how to do crow pose without balancing on the hands. And again. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. And I think we have one more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Now roll like a ball. So you need to make your back very, very round to roll on your mat. And then sit up. And roll your wrists. Now we warm up the wrists and to the other side. And then release. We're gonna do one more exercise for the wrists. So what we basically do when we do crow pose is we lean forward until we feel the activation of the fingertips. So we balance with the fingertips. So the fingertips are our brakes in crow. So as soon as we feel, oh, I'm too much forward, we can push into the fingertips and then we will go a little bit to the back and we won't fall over. So, and we practice this without balancing. So here, activate your fingertips like push your fingertips into the floor, and now move your shoulders over your wrists, and you feel like it's getting really hard for the fingertips to push back. So that's where we balance. So here where the fingertips have to work a lot, here is the balancing point. So oftentimes we think, oh, I'm balancing on my hand, and I'm balancing actually here. But the balancing happens here, where you really have to push back. So let's do crow pose. And if you never done crow pose before, and you feel like a little bit nervous, feel free to grab some cushions and put them around you. That's how you can just get a little bit of ease in your mind. That's a way. We start with the block, so you won't fall on the floor because we have the block. And the block helps us to understand where we need to go and how far we actually need to move forward, because I think that's basically the problem with most people who are not able to do crow pose. It's not strength, it's that they don't move forward enough because fear of falling. Normal, totally normal. And yeah, it's just normal. So before we start, we're gonna do one last exercise, and it's malasana. So bring the hands, the forearms to the inside of your knees, and push the knees out, and the knees push back in. So this is an action you also need in crow pose, like hugging the legs in. This will help you to stay up in your crow pose. So hug, push your knees to the inside, and your elbows want to push to the outside. So it's a battle between knees and elbows. Okay, release. Now, place the block in front of you. So the most common issue with crow pose I see is that people think the head is here. So if I would do this, and I would like go with my head. So what we want to do is that we do the head on the block, and you feel like this bouncing, and you have the head on the block, and it's totally easy. But when you do the block here, because you think, okay, my head has to come here, you see it's almost, it's impossible to lift my feet, because in crow pose we need to shift forward a lot. What does shift forward mean? It means we need to bring the shoulders, or in this case the elbows, over the wrists, and this is not here. And that's why when people do crow pose, I cannot do crow pose, because they're not forward enough. So the placement of the knees is here. You feel there's a flat space on top of your elbow, and this is where I like to put my, you can put it like high up, that's possible as well. Me personally, I like to put it here, and for later, if you're gonna do more arm balances, this is a great spot to be. So I recommend finding this spot and placing it on your knees. Now place your block far away from you. So I would say it's like 2 hands away from you. And I know it seems like very far away, but it's not too far away, I promise. So your hands are shoulder width distance apart, index fingers pointing forward, your fingertips are active. And now lift your hips up, come onto your tippy toes. And now here you can't balance here. You need to come all the way forward to this block. Maybe it seems impossible, but it isn't. So shift forward. Now you feel like fingertips are getting active. And as soon as they're getting active, that's where you can balance. And then you can place your head on your block and lift the feet off the floor. So these are just like, I mean, there are a million more cues I can give you for crow pose, but maybe this was your missing piece in crow pose, that you don't lean forward enough. And then if you think, okay, I get it, leaning forward more, then you can try it without a block. And of course you can like put your cushions all around to feel better, and then do the same thing. And think of this block that's there, and just shift forward, feel the balance in your hands, and then like magically you're gonna balance on two hands. And it's an amazing feeling, gives you so much power. And also, if you don't feel the balance in your fingers, it took me at least 2 years to feel the connection, like to really feel this gripping of the fingers and really starting to feel the balance in my hands. So this also takes time. So keep going, do it again and again, and it will become better. And one day you will wake up and you will notice, oh, I know how it feels, and I know how to balance with and to use my fingers as brakes. So it will come over time with practice with joy, with fun. If your elbows hurt right now, if you get bruises here, and that's normal, and they go away as well. So for now, that's it. I wanted to show you how to shift forward. Maybe I will make another video with other cues and more tips and tricks on how to learn crow pose. I hope you have you learned something today, or something clicked today. And if not, just keep on practicing. It will come over time, promise. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. This was a really advanced practice. Yeah, tomorrow we will have a new day, and it's gonna be much more relaxing and more focused on stretching, and no more arm balances and such thing. But I think it is called the 30-day yoga challenge, and there has to be challenging poses, and we can all benefit from it, even if we are not able to do the full expression of the pose. It's kind of, we're working to get there. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Comment on this video. Do you like crow pose? Did it click? I'm really interested if there was something that you could really benefit from. And do you want more videos on how to do crow pose? Because that is definitely something I can do. I have many more tricks, and using props and myself, it took me quite some time to learn crow pose. So I know all the little tricks and tips. So let me know about this, and then wishing you a lovely day, and see you on day number 22.